Hello everyone, hey RG back with some more Out of the Park Baseball 22 with, yet again, our Montreal Expos revisionist historical that we are doing. We are in 1995 in control somewhat of the Montreal Expos. And last time out we did really good. We swept the division rivals Atlanta Braves, so we gained 3 games on them. So we are only 3 games back, and all odds are, or all bets are off, I should say. So today on the menu we have the Cincinnati Reds. Reds are pretty good. They are 39 and 27. They are first in the Central, and they have a pretty strong lineup. So in my universe, the Reds went out and spent some money, especially on some pitching, and they, as a result, have been pretty strong throughout my entire time playing in this particular universe. We still have one injury. Kirby Puckett's still out for 5 more weeks, but you know, it was 8 weeks at the start, I think. So we're going closer and getting closer and closer to get him back. We're gonna take a look at. Oh, I looked at the Pirates for something earlier, and that's still showing. There you go. All right. So we're going to take a look at the Reds real quick, look at their lineup. Alright, so when I say that they have really good pitching, that's what I mean. So they have Oserio, of course. They went out and got Roger Clemens. They have John Burkett, and they have Mark Langston that's, on the injured reserve. So that's starting to be a pretty strong rotation when you have all of those pieces put together. Also injured is Quinton McCracken and Dave Rowe, both second baseman. But yeah, there's quite a bit of talent there, especially on the mound. Lots of good pitchers, and they still have Rob Dibble as a closer, so that's pretty good. Alright, so today we're gonna have our work cut out for us. We're facing Roger Clemens. Thankfully, we're going with Hideo Nomo, so we're going with our ace on the mound for the first matchup. We'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and stop talking and let's play some baseball now, shall we? All right. So I'm a little bit on a roll, so I think I'm gonna just go ahead and keep this lineup here that I have, and hopefully that's gonna be good enough. And we are going to be facing Pokiris, who's going to be batting first, playing second baseman. The shortstop Barry Larkin is batting second. Paul O'Neill in right field is batting third. Jim Tatum, the catcher, is batting fourth. Reggie Jefferson, the first baseman, is going to be batting fifth today. Mike Devereaux in center field batting sixth. Charlie Hayes, the third baseman, is going to be batting seventh. The Reds are batting their pitcher eighth. And then Ansley Mullins, the left fielder, is going to be batting ninth. And of course, on the mound, as we mentioned, it's going to be Roger Clemens. We are going to go with Hideo Nomo. So let's play ball. And of course, go Expos! Alright, so we are in Cincinnati for that 3-game series, and I know the Shields is going to be facing off against Clemens, 2-2 to him. Alright, and here we go. Alright, that's it to center. That's a diving catch. Alright, so I wasn't too sure. So, 1 out. Luis Polonia is next. 0-1 to him. Grounds it to the pitcher. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. That brings up John Kropp with 2 outs already. Full count to him. and he walks. All right, so a 2-out walk for the Expos. Now Ken Turbeck is going to be the batter. 1 and 2. That's it to right, but it's pretty much right there at Polonia, and he catches it for out number 3. Alright, nothing to show for the Expos in the top of the first. We're going into the bottom of the first here in Cincinnati with Pokey Reese leading off here against Hideo Nomo. 1-0 to him. And that's going to be a base hit to left. Alright, so it falls in front of Polonia, so the Reds get their first batter of the game to get on base, and now Barry Larkin follows, full count to him. That's a base hit to left as well. Alright, not a great start for Hideo Nomo in this one. So runners on first and second, nobody out. Paul O'Neill is the next batter, full count to him. And that's it to center for a base hit. That's going to score a run. Nope, he didn't go. My apologies. However, they have the bases loaded with nobody out. Jim Tatum is next. 1 and 2 to him. And he struck out. Alright, now we have the double play that's in the works, maybe. Reggie Jefferson is next. 1 and 2 to him. That's it to left, and that's going to be extra bases in the corner. So it scored 3 runs. So the base emptying double for Jefferson and the Reds. It's already 3-0 for Cincinnati here in inning number 1. There's 1 out. Runner on second base. Mike Devereaux is the next batter. Full count to him, and he struck out looking. Alright, 2 outs. Charlie Hayes is next. 1 and 2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, so the Reds get on the board first, thanks to a base emptying double by Jefferson. They are up 3-0 here. Top of the second, Ruben Rivera facing off against Roger Clemens. 2 and 2. And he struck out swinging. Charles Johnson is next. No count. And that's a base hit to left, and that's going to continue his hit streak here to 13 games. Right, runner on first, 1 out for Jeff King, who's a little bit on a cold streak. His batting average went from like 360s to 306. Full count, grounds it to short, and they only get the lead runner out at second base. So there's 2 outs. Runner on first for Walt Weiss. 0-1 for Weiss. That's a base hit to left. Falls in front of Millens. So runners on first and second. 2 out. But Hideo Nomo is the next batter. 2 and 2 to him. And he struck out swinging. So there goes the threat. Bottom of the second inning incoming. We're down 3 here in Cincinnati. Roger Clemens is the first one to face off against Hideo Nomo. 0-1. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out at first for out number 1. Hensley Mullins is next. 2 and 2. Struck out swinging. Pokey Reese now. 0-1. And that falls in La La Land in center field, and that's a base hit after 2 outs. Barry Larkin is the next batter. No count to him. Oh, the runner goes, and he's safe. Alright, so that's the 12th stolen base of the season for Pokey Reese. 2-0 to Larkin now. Grounds it to the pitcher, and he's thrown out at first for out number 3. Alright, top of the third now. We have Delino the Shields leading off against Clemens. No count. That's it to left. Oh, Mullins dives with his back to the home plate, and he catches it for out number 1. That's twice in this game that the Shields gets robbed by a nice diving catch. Luis Polonia is next. 2-1 to him. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2. That brings brings up John Kruk. Full count. And he walks. Alright, so kind of the same inning as inning number 1. The Shields got out on a nice diving catch. Polonia grounds out, and then with 2 outs, Kruk gets a walk with a full count. Turbeck now with 2 outs, 3-1, and he walks as well. Right, 2 runners on, 2 outs for Ruben Rivera. Full count, and he hits it weakly to right. Paul O'Neill barely has to move, and that's out number 3. Alright, we're still down 3-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, where Paul O'Neill is going to face off against Idionomo. Full count to him. Struck out swinging. Jim Tatum now. 0-1. That's a base hit to center. Alright, the Reds get a base runner here with 1 out. And Reggie Jefferson is going to be the next batter. 0-1 to him. Runner on first. Grounds it to the catcher. Oh, we got the lead runner out at second base. So that's a fielder's choice. There's 2 outs now. Mike Devereaux is the next batter. 2-2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, top of the 4th incoming. Maybe we can get to Roger Clemens now. Charles Johnson leading off that inning. Full count. And he struck out swinging. Jeff King is next. 0-1. Grounds it too short. Larkin with the throw. That's out number 2. Alright, Walt Weiss with 2 outs. 1-2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, the Expos go down in order. We're going into the top of the... the bottom of the 4th. Charlie Hayes is next. 0-1. Alright, and that's it to right, where John Kruk gets the ball for out number 1. Roger Clemens is next, 2-2 to him. And that's a base hit to left. So that's Roger Clemens' first base hit of this season, and that's a double. Alright, Ensley Mullins is next. There's a runner in scoring position, 1 out, 3-1 to him. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Alright, the lineup flips over. Pokey Reese leads, or is now the next batter. No count to him. That's a base hit to center. Pokey Reese is 3 for 3 in this game. Roger Clemens scores on the plate. Is now 4-0 for the Reds. And Reese advances to second base on the plate. So there's a runner in scoring position for Barry Larkin now. 1-0. Hits it to right. John Kruk is there, catches it for out number 3. The Reds add 1 more run to their lead. They are now up 4-0. Top of the 5th, not a whole lot going on for the Expos in this game. Roger Clemens obviously is still on the mound. Idionomo is the next batter, 0-2. Oh, Nomo with a double of his own, or at least it should be. Opposite field double for Idionomo to start off the 5th inning. All the way to the fence. Nice piece of hitting there. Now Delino the Shields is the next batter. There's a runner in scoring position and nobody out. No count to the Shields. That's it weakly to right. Paul O'Neill towards it. Catches it for out number 1. The runner has to retreat to second base. Luis Polonia is next. 1-1. Grounds it to short. And the throw is good to first. The runner still doesn't advance, so all of a sudden we still have our runner on second base, but there's 2 outs. John Kruk is the next batter, 2-1. And that's it weakly to right. Paul O'Neill is there, catches it for out number 3. The Expos get a leadoff double in inning number 5, but fail to score the runner. We are still down 4-0 here at Riverfront Stadium. Paul O'Neill leading off the bottom of the 5th. 2-0 to him. That's a base hit to right. Yeah, that's not a great start by Nomo. He's having a hard time retiring batters. Running on first, nobody out for Jim Tatum. Full count. That's a liner to first. And that's out number 1. Hello, FJ. How are things? Reggie Jefferson is next. Runner on first. 1 out. 0-1. And that's a fly ball to left. And that's caught by Luis Polonia for out number 2. Runner on first. 2 outs. Oh, yeah. Mike Devereaux now. With 2 outs, grounder to second. He's thrown out at first for out number 3. Well, I'm kind of playing MLB as well, just not MLB The Show. I saw that the new MLB The Show is going to be on the Switch too. I don't know if the one last year was, or you know, the one you're playing right now. I don't know if it was on the Switch or not. Alright, Ken Turbeck leading off the top of the 6th against Roger Clemens, 3-1. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out at first for out number 1. Ruben Rivera is next, 1-1. Grounds it to short. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. Charles Johnson now with 2 outs, 1-2. And he pops it. Barry Larkin is there. That's out number 3. The Expos go down 1-2-3 in inning number 6. So, are you still playing your career? Who are you playing for now? Alright, Charlie Hayes is leading off the bottom of the 6th. 1-1. That's going to be a base hit. Alright, so infield single for Charlie Hayes. Now Roger Clemens is the batter. Ooh, that's gonna be rough. The D-backs were not great this year. Alright, no count for Clemens, and he misses the bunt, so that's strike 1. Tries to bunt again, and that's down the line at first, and that's an error. Ah, exactly what we needed. Alright, so there's 2 runners on base, nobody out. We botched the out on the sacrifice. Hensley Mullins is the next batter, no count to him. And now that we have a bad pitch. Alright, 2-2 to Mullins, and he strikes out swinging. I think it's time to bring in some relief here. Let's bring somebody to finish this inning. Let's bring in John Doris to finish the inning. Oh, that's not bad at all. Alright, Pokey Reese, who's 3 for 3 in this game, is the next batter. There's 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out. Full count. We have John Doris now on the mound. And that's a base hit to right. So 1 run scores, but we nailed the second runner at home. So there's 2 outs now. Reese makes it to second base on the play, so he's 4 for 4 today. And now Barry Larkin is the next batter, runner in scoring position. There's 2 outs. It is now 5-0. No count to Larkin. Grounds it to short, sorry. And he's thrown out at first for out number 3. So I did a thing this morning. I played some franchise Hockey Manager 8, and I may or may not have beat the challenge with the added challenge on top that you've put on there. So you're trying to bring speed back in the game? Jeez, what's wrong with you? Alright, so top of the 7th, Clemens is on the mound. Jeff King, the batter, grounds it to short, and he's thrown out at first for out number 1. That Brings up wall twice, no count to him. Grounds it too short. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. Yeah, we really don't have anything going against John Clements. I was just hoping that he could go head-to-head, that Nomo could go head-to-head against him, but yeah, that didn't happen. Alright, we're going to bring Barbary as a pinch hitter for John Duras. Oh, okay, you're not like Otis Nixon. Right, Brett Barbary with 2 outs, 1 and 2 to him. And he struck out swinging. Bottom of the 7th incoming. We're still down 5 here in Cincinnati. We're not doing too good. I think I'm going to bring in Ota for the last 2 innings. Alright, Polonia, first one to face off against Ota. Full count to him. And he walks. Alright, so Ota walks the first batter that he faces. Runner on first, nobody out for Jim Tatum, 1-0. And he flies it to right. And that's cut by John Kruk for out number 1. Reggie Jefferson is next. Runner on first, 1 out, 2 and 2. Oh, he struck out looking. Alright, with 2 outs now, Mike Devereaux is the next batter. No count. Grounds it to second. And he's thrown out at first for out number 3. Top of the 8th incoming. Delino the Shields is going to try to get on base here. 0-2. He grounds it to the catcher. And he's thrown at first for out number 1. Luis Polonia is next. 0-1. That's it weakly towards center field. Mike Devereaux is there. Catches it for out number 2. Alright, John Kruk with 2 outs now, 1-0. That's it to right, and that falls in front of Polonia, so the Expos get a 2-out base hit from John Kruk. And now we have Turbeck at the plate, 1-2. That's it to right, and that's a base hit. Falls in front of O'Neill as well. We have 2 runners on now with 2 outs. Ruben Rivera is next, 0-2. Oh, Eric Moody is now on the mound. And he grounds it to third. They go the short route to second base for out number 3. We're going into the bottom of the 8th, still down 5-0. Charlie Hayes is leading off that inning for the Reds, 1-2 to him. Struck out swinging. Scott Bryant comes in as a pinch hitter now. 1-1. Grounds it to first. Turbeck is there. That's out number 2. Alright, Ensley Mullins is next. 2-2. 2 outs. Grounds it to short. Wall twice with that throw. That's out number 3. Alright, 2 decent innings by Katsumasa Ota. And now we're going into the top of the 9th. Dennis Fletcher comes in on the mound. Charles Johnson is going to be the first one to face off against him. 3-0. And he walks on 4 pitches. Jeff King is next. Runner on first. Nobody out. 1-2. And he struck out swinging. Wall twice now with 1 out. Runner on first. 2-0. That's it weakly to right. And that's cut by Paul O'Neill for out number 2. We're going to go ahead and bring in a pinch hitter. That's our last out. We're going to bring the lefty Curtis Pride. A little bit late for a rally, but you never know. 2-2. And he struck out swinging, so yeah, the rally didn't happen. And we lost 5-0 the first game here in Cincinnati. Not a whole lot to talk about. Ooh, not bad, not bad. Ooh, Jose Canseco had a 3-home run game against the Royals. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and play game number 2 of this 3-game series. This time we're gonna be facing off against the righty John Burkett. Now, of note is that the Braves won while we lost, so we fell to 4 games now. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Then we're gonna go ahead and check to see if any transactions happened. Nothing of note. Alright, let's play game number 2. Alright, so they're going to be sending John Burkett. We're going to go with Brett Tomko. Well, at least you got something. You got a silver slugger, that's not too bad. That's pretty interesting, I think. Alright, so for game number 2, I'm going to sit Charles Johnson, give him his rest day, and I'm going to go with Russ McGinnis. I think I'm just going to leave him in the 6th spot. Jeff King has been struggling lately, and Russ McGinnis actually has been playing pretty decently, so we're going to go ahead and try it like that. So the Reds are going to go with Pokey Reese batting first, batting second base. The shortstop, Barry Larkin, is batting second. Polonia in right field is batting third. Jim Tatum, the catcher, batting fourth. Reggie Jefferson at first base is batting fifth. Mike Devereaux in center field is batting sixth. Charlie Hayes, the third baseman, batting seventh. John Burkett batting eighth, the pitcher. And Scott Bryant is in left field and batting ninth. So basically the exact same lineup, except Bryant is in for Mullins. So you don't have any comments about me beating your extra challenge that you gave me in the hockey sim? Alright, so play ball and go Expos. Right, we dropped the first game, but hopefully it's only a blip on the radar. Hopefully we go and win this game here. Gravel did not play at all in the playoffs. Irby got a few shutouts. Gravel did sell the 5th most jerseys, if anything. Now, something you should have been there for is that I almost got eliminated by the Blues. And their starting goaltender in the playoffs was Brian Hayward. The Blues took a 3-1 lead in the series, but I won the last 3 games to go to the Stanley Cup final against the Flyers. Delino the Shields leads off this game here against John Burkett. Go Expos, 3-0 to the Shields. Yeah, Brian just couldn't get it done. Alright, Luis Polonia, and the Shields walked on 4 pitches, sorry. Luis Polonia is the next batter, runner on first, 2-1. That's it really weakly to shortstop, and that's cut by Barry Larkin for out number 1. John Kruk is next, 1-0. And that's a base hit to center. And on the play, oh no, the Shields decides to not go. Yeah, and then, you know, there's an issue with how the game treats goaltenders. So in the Stanley Cup Finals, I was facing off against the Flyers. The Flyers started with Darren Pupa, which that's fine. I think he was a 2.5-star goaltender or something. So I was like, okay. But Pupa got hurt in the first game, and then they recalled John Blue, who is a half-star goaltender, and they played him over Ron Extall, who was a 3.5-star goaltender. And it doesn't make any sense. There's absolutely zero coach in the history of the NHL that would be like, yeah, I think I'm going to go with my third string goaltender here for the remainder of the Stanley Cup Finals. Makes no sense. Alright, so we have runners on first and second. One out. Turbeck is the next batter. 1-0 to him. And that's a base hit to right. Is that going to... Oh, yeah, it is going to score a run. Polonia juggled with the ball. So a run scores. It is 1-0 for the Expos, and we have 2 runners in scoring position now for Ruben Rivera, 1-0. Grounds it to short. He's thrown out at first, but the runner scores. It is now 2-0 for the Expos. There's 2 outs and a runner in scoring position for Russ McGinnis, 1-2. And he flies out to center, and that's the third out of the inning. Alright, Brett Tomko on the mound. Pokey Reese is the batter. 2-1 to him. Grounds it to the shields, and he's thrown out at first for out number 1. Barry Larkin is next. 1-0 to him. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Polonia now with 2 outs, 1-1. And that's a base hit to left. So the Reds get a 2-out base runner. And Jim Tatum is the next batter. Full count. Flies it to right. And that's out number 3 as John Kruk catches the ball. We're up 2-0 here going into the top of the second, and I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, I saw that Montreal traded for former sensation Andrew Hammond. Alright, Jeff King leading off here. We are up 2-0 against the Reds. No count. That's a base hit to center for Jeff King. Finally getting a base hit. So how do you feel about the Abs getting Andrew Hammond? Oh god, the Hamburglar Revenge Tour. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Walt Weiss is the next batter runner on first. 0-1. Grounds it to short, and that's going to be a double play. Just like that, the Reds get 2 outs. And Brett Tomko comes to bat with 2 outs now. Top of the second, full count. Struck out swinging. Yeah, that's the reason why they made that trade. It's to go and get a veteran goaltender so that the young goalers don't get shelled every night and completely get their confidence crushed. Because Hammond is gonna allow some goals. I doubt that we're gonna see the type of run that he had with the Sens. God, that was 7 years ago already. Wow. Feels like it was yesterday. Man, I love that run. Like, every game I was on the edge of my seat. We needed to win literally every game almost to make the playoffs, and we pulled it. Alright, Reggie Jefferson, bottom of the second inning, 2-2. And he struck out swinging. Mike Devereaux is next, 2-0 to him. Grounds it to third. Jeff King with the throw, that's out number 2. And now Charlie Hayes is next, 2-2. And he struck out looking. So who do you think is the next AB to get traded? Alright, Delino the Shields leads off the top of the third. We're still up 2-0, 0-1. Grounds it to first, and he's out for out number 1. Luis Polonia is next, no count. Grounds it to first, and he's out for out number 2. Oh yeah, you think Shearat is gonna be the next one? John Kruk is next, 2 outs, 1-0. Grounds it to third, and he's thrown out at first for out number 3. Alright, the Expos go down in order in inning number 3. We're going into the bottom of the third, still up 2-0. John Burkett leads off that inning. I don't know if Edmondson is going to get traded because I don't know that he's going to come back. I mean, this season, like, he's been out all year with, and like, it's very unclear what's going on with him. Like, I know that for a while his dad was sick and his dad passed away, and then I think he's hurt to his back, but yeah. Alright, so 1 out. Scott Bryant is next, 2-1. And, oh, that's an extra base hit here to center right, all the way to the fence. And that's a double for Bryant. So a 1 out double for the Reds. Hey, Gerald Nollet. No, Kirby Puckett is not out for the season. He should be back at the end of July-ish. We're in the middle of June. Yes, FG, you and the Suns. We also are without a lot of players. Alright, Pokey Reese, now the batter with a runner on second base. 1 out, 0-1. Grounds it to third. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. The runner has to stay on second base. Barry Larkin is next. 2 outs now. That's a liner that's cut by Wall twice for out number 3. Alright, top of the fourth. We're still up 2-0. Ken Turbeck is next. Full count. And he walks. Ruben Rivera is next, runner on first, nobody out, 1-1. Oh, that's it very weakly. Jefferson barely moves and he catches it for out number 1. That brings up Russ McGinnis. 0-2 to him. Grounds it to short, and that's a double play, and that's the end of the inning. We're going into the bottom of the fourth. We're still up 2 here at Riverfront Stadium. Paul O'Neill is the next batter. 1-1. That's a base hit to center. FJ, you need to look up if we can do some form of online GM mode with MLB The Show so that you can kick my ass all year. Jim Tatum is next, runner on first, nobody out. 3-0. And he walks on 4 pitches. Alright. So Brett Tomko now not doing too good in this inning. There's 2 on, nobody out. Reggie Jefferson is the next batter. 3-1. And he walks. Ooh. That's not good. Alright. Bases are loaded with nobody out. We're still up 2-0. Mike Devereaux is the batter. 1-0. Grounds it to third, and that's going to be a double play. A run scores on the play, however. So it is now 2-1. There's 2 outs and a runner on third for Charlie Hayes. No count to Hayes. We're going to walk him so that we can face the pitcher, John Burkett, with 2 outs, 1 and 2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, the Reds get on the board, but all things considered, with bases loaded and nobody out, they only got 1 run. I think I'll take that. We are still up 1. It is 2-1 for the Expos. Top of the 5th here with Jeff King leading off. No count. Grounds it to second. And he's thrown out at first for out number 1. Yeah, walking him worked out for the best, where we struck out the pitcher. And I know FJ, I looked up, they haven't announced any features yet, but I still thought that maybe you knew something. You're my inside man. You're my guy outside of America, trading secrets with shady people or something. All right, Walt Weiss with 1 out, 2 and 2. Grounds it to, oh, that's gonna be, yeah, that's an error. All right, so Weiss gets on first thanks to an error by Larkin. So there's 1 out. Brett Tomko is at bat. He's probably gonna bunt, and he does bunt. And we advance the runner. So we have a runner in scoring position now with 2 outs. Delino De Shields is going to be the next batter. So we need a base hit from De Shields here. 2-0 to him. And that's a liner to first, and that's the end of the inning. I thought that maybe it was going to be above the first baseman's head, but it was not. Alright, Scott Bryant is the next batter for the Reds. Bottom of the 5th, we're still up 1. No count to Bryant. He had a double in his first at-bat. This time he grounds out to first for out number 1. So not too bad of a start for Brett Tomko so far. Pokey Reese is next, 2 and 2. Grounds it to first. Turbeck takes it to first himself. That's out number 2. Barry Larkin now, 1 and 0. That's a base hit to center, so the Reds get a 2-out base hit. Runner on first, 2 outs for Polonia, 2 and 1. And he flies it to right. John Kruk is there. That's out number 3. All right, we'll take it. Not too bad, not too bad. Now, hopefully we can get some runs here. We're getting into the meat of the lineup. Luis Polonia leads off the 6th here. John Burkett still on the mound for the Reds. 2 and 2 to Polonia. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out at first for out number 1. John Kruk is next. No count. Oh, that's it. Weekly. Charlie Hayes is there. Catches it for out number 2. Well, the big inning I was wanting is not exactly happening right now. So 2 outs for Ken Turbeck. 2 and 1 to him. Grounds it to the pitcher. He's thrown out at first. Wow. Did we even get the ball out of the infield in that inning? I don't think we did. No, we didn't. Wow. Alright, bottom of the 6th. Jim Tatum leading off against Brett Tomko. Alright, we're going to go ahead and monitor Tomko here. That might be his last inning. 0 and 2. That's a base hit to right for Tatum. Alright, so leadoff single for the Reds. Reggie Jefferson is next. Runner on first. Nobody out. No count to Jefferson. Grounds it to second. Oh, double play. The pitcher's best friend. Alright, Jero Nullet. Have fun. Mike Devereaux is next. 2 outs now. 1 and 0. And he flies it to left, and that's cut by Polonia for out number 3. The Expos hold on to dear life to their one-run lead going into the top of the 7th. Ruben Rivera now. Full count. And he struck out swinging. Russ McGinnis is next. No count to him. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Jeff King now with 2 outs, 0-1. That's it really weakly to first base. That's cut by Jefferson for out number 3. That's 2 innings in a row that we go down in order and without a whimper. We're having problems here generating anything. Bottom of the 7th, Charlie Hayes is the batter. So far so good for Brett Tomko. Full count. Struck out swinging. That was a high pitch there. Right, Chris Jones is the next batter coming in as a pinch hitter for the pitcher. 1-2. Oh, he struck out swinging. The ball eludes McGinnis, but he's thrown out at first for out number 2. And Scott Bryant now with 2 outs. 0-1 to him. And I think that's out of here. And it is. And the game is tied at 2. Alright, so Bryant with the solo blast. The game is tied at 2 here in Cincinnati. Alright, Pokey Reese is the next batter. There's 2 outs, 0-1. That's a base hit to center. Alright, so Tomko here struggling to get the 3rd out in inning number 7. Barry Larkin, 2 outs, runner on first, 0-1. That's a base hit to right, so that's going to be the end of Brett Tomko's evening. Right, so runners on first and third, there's 2 outs. Go ahead and do a double switch because I only have 1 lefty, so I'm gonna make it count. All right. Oh, all right. I guess they are bringing in a right-handed pinch hitter to face off against my lefty, so I brought in Gabe White, but they're bringing in James Muton to bat against him. Full count, 2 outs, runner on extremities. Game tied at 2 apiece. Grounds it to third. Barbary with the throw. That's out number 3. All right, we get out of the inning, but not before the Reds tie the game. It is 2-2. Going into the top of the 8th, Paul Assenmaker is going to be the pitcher now for the Reds. 1-1 to Walt Weiss. Oh, and he grounds out to first for out number 1. Thank you, Aki Pizza Oreos. That's my favorite sport, something I can't eat because it makes me sick, and one of my favorite cookies, but unlike many people, I prefer the cookie over the cream in the middle. Alright, Brett Barbary now with 1 out. Full count against Paul Assenmaker. And he walks. Alright, so a 1-out walk here for the Expos. Delino De Shields is going to be batting against Paul Assenmaker. Maybe I'm going to do some managing of my own here. I'm going to bring in the righty Jody Reed. Right, Jody Reed to face off against Paul Assenmaker. Runner on first, 1 out, 1-1. That's it to right, but it's cut by Paul O'Neill. Oh no, it's Mullins, sorry. For the 2nd out, and I'm gonna bring in yet another. We're gonna go with Johnny Knott here. who can play left field. All right, runner on first, 2 outs. Johnny not the batter. Paulasen maker, of course, so the pitcher 2-2, and he struck out swinging. All right, well, it can't work every single time. Yeah, so I explained the story a few times. I don't mind repeating it again. So I've been playing out of the park baseball since version 9. And over the years, playing as a GM, I learned how to play the game pretty well, where I was pretty successful most of the time. So I started to have a lot of house rules to make up for, you know, the way that I could abuse the computer, I guess. And then I ended up having so many house rules that it became a little boring. So one day I decided, I think it's in Out of the Park 18 that I made the switch. I decided to try manager only, and oh my god, it's a lot more challenging when you don't control like your roster moves and everything. You can only control who plays with what you're given. So I've been playing that with manager only since. So yeah. Alright, so Jody Reed stays in the game, plays second base. And Johnny Nutt stays in the game, playing left field. And I think I'm going to keep Gabe White on the mound. There's a lefty coming. Let's see what happens. Alright, so bottom of the 8th, we're still tied at 2. Jim Tatum is the batter, 1-2. Oh, no. Oof. Alright, so the Reds took the lead here on a solo blast by Jim Tatum. It is not for everybody. I am the first one to admit it. Some people have a hard time relinquishing the control over, you know, making trades and signing players and drafting and everything, but I just started to like it. Alright, so full count here to Jefferson, and he struck out swinging, and I'm gonna bring in a righty now to face off against the rest of the lineup. We're gonna do let's do John Doris again. Alright, Mike Devereaux, the batter, with 1 out. Reds are up front 3-2 now, thanks to a solo blast. Grounds it to second, but Jody Reed boots the ball. So the runner is safe at first with 1 out. Charlie Hayes is the batter now. No count. Oh, it's starting to rain. I was wondering why nothing was happening. That's a base hit to center. That's not good. Alright, so 2 runners on, 1 out. Hensley Mullins is next. Oh, it's raining. It is raining. Alright, a 74-minute rain delay, so my pitcher is probably gonna have his arm fall off after the next pitch or something. Alright, no count. That's a base hit to center. Alright, so a runner scores. It is now 4-2 for the Reds, and this game seems to be slowly getting away from us. Scott Bryant is the next batter. Runners on first and second, 1 out. 1-2. Oh, he struck out looking. Pokey Reese now with 2 outs, 2-2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, well, it's do or die for the Expos. Top of the 9th. We need 2 runs to at least tie the game. However, we're facing against a very good closer in Rob Dibble. And we don't have a whole lot of bats left on the bench. So John Kruk is going to be the first one to face him. Full count. Grounds it to third. A's with the throw. That's out number 1. Ken Turbeck is next. 0-2. That's it to center. Devereaux with the diving catch. We can't catch a break. That's the second game in a row that we're really not doing a whole lot offensively. I mean, we got 2 runs in the first inning, but we only have 3 hits. Then Ruben Rivera is our last out. We're going to go ahead and use Curtis Pride. Oh, and 1 for Pride. He grounds it to first, and that's out number 3. The Expos dropped game number 2 after leading most of the game. We lost 4-2, so that's 2 losses in a row after we swept the Braves. Not a lot to say. Tom Cole didn't pitch all that bad. Alright. Ooh, no, that's not good. The Mets have caught up to us. Now the Mets I've been struggling with most of the time, and they're creeping up here. Alright. Let's go ahead and finish today, see what happens. I lost John Cerruti, who was released. He was a left-handed reliever. I only have Gabe White, who's a lefty. Oh, you are a Mets fan. My apologies. I'm just Booking fan. I'm not a fan of any teams anymore. Since the Expos moved, I struggled to find a team that I wanted to follow really seriously. One thing that I know is that I don't like the Yankees at all. If I cut the old catcher ability discussion that was had a bit ago, depends what you mean, FJ. I know that there was... Depends what... I've read a few discussions about the catching ability, how it can help some pitchers and everything, like getting more strikeouts and everything, but I don't know if that's what you're referring to. Alright, so Cerruti is not on the team anymore, officially. Alright, so the All-Star... Yeah, we don't have anybody that's going to go to the All-Star game, except maybe Hideo Nomo. I mean, he's not here, he's not in the top 5, but he's having a really good season. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and save, because who knows when I'm gonna lose power. And then we're gonna check to see if the computer made any moves for me. Nope, the only move is that we released John Cerruti. He wasn't that great, I suppose. So we've moved away from him. Alright, so we're ready for game number 3 here. We're going to be facing against Tommy Green. Reds won the first 2 games, and the Braves won their 2 games, so we dropped to 5 games back now. Tommy Green on the mound. We're going to go with Miguel Batista, who's been having a really good season so far. A good bounce-back season. He kind of struggled last year. Yeah, he was 9-14. After going 15-8 in his rookie season, he went 9-14 last year. It was a little tougher for him, and so far this year, so far so good. So let's go ahead and play game number 3 here. Hopefully we can win this one. Yeah, that's kind of under the lines of what I was reading, because the catcher ability affects pitching so much in a positive way that it's probably better to have somebody with really good catcher ability over somebody who's just average but has a good bat. Now, thankfully for me, I have Charles Johnson, who's good at both. So I'm not struggling too much in that regard. Alright, we're gonna make some modifications to the lineup here, so let's see. Alright, let's go ahead and Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play Jody Reed at second base. And I'm going to go ahead and play Brett Barbary at shortstop. And we're going to lead off with Polonia. And I think I'm going to just keep it like that. Other than that, we're going to try Jody Reed. Let's try Jeff King. Hopefully he can shake off that snowflake that's on him. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go like that. Maybe batting second is gonna help him shake off his cold streak a little. Alright, the Reds are going to go with Pokey Reese batting first, playing second base. Barry Larkin, the shortstop, is batting second. Paul O'Neill in right field is batting third. Jim Tatum, the catcher, batting fourth. Reggie Jefferson playing first base is going to be batting fifth. Mike Devereaux in center field batting sixth. Charlie Hayes, the third baseman, is going to be batting seventh. Tommy Green is batting eighth. And Ansley Mullins is back in left field and batting ninth. So that's the exact same lineup we've been facing all series long, except for that spot. It was Mullins in game number 1. It was Scott Bryant in game number 2. And Mullins is back for game number 3. All right, let's see if we can shake off. Last time catcher won MVP, wasn't it the Giants catcher? No, it was Joe Mauer. Wait, did Mauer win MVP or did he only win the... I don't remember. I'm sure you're going to tell me. Alright, game 3 is going to be underway, so of course, play ball and go Expos! Why are you losing so much? That's 15-year-old me or whatever age I am. Wanting for my Expos to do better. Alright, Luis Polonia leading off here against Tommy Green. It is an afternoon game here in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium. Let's get underway. 2-2 to Polonia. And he flies it, he pops it really. And that's... Oh, it's dropped by Barry Larkin. We're going to try to capitalize on a rare Barry Larkin error here to take the lead. So, Polonia safe at first. On an error, Jeff King is the next batter. 1-1. And that's it to right, and it falls in. Alright, so maybe I was right to put Jeff King batting second. To try to give him some confidence back. Alright, 2 runners on, nobody out for John Kruk. 1-2. Oh, he struck out. No! Alright, 2 on, 1 out for Ken Turbeck. 1-2. That's it, really weakly. Larkin is there, he doesn't drop that one. That's 2 outs. The runners do not advance yet again. And now we have Ruben Rivera as the batter. 2 outs. 1-2. And he struck out swinging. Oh, I have a feeling we're going to regret this first inning. During this game, we're going to regret not doing anything with those 2 base runners. All right, Pokey Reese leading off here against Miguel Batista. Bottom of the first. No count to Reese. Grounds it to short. That's a good throw by Barbary for out number 1. Barry Larkin is next, 1-1. Grounds it to short. And he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Paul O'Neill is the next batter with 2 outs. No count. Grounds it to short. Another good throw by Barbary, and that's out number 3. Alright, the Reds go down in order for a very rare time during this entire series. We're going into the top of the second here. Nothing. Charles Johnson leads off the second for us, 2-2. And he struck out swinging. Jody Reed now, 1-2. Flies it to right, Polonia after it. He catches it pretty easily, that's out number 2. And now Brett Barbary is the next batter with 2 outs, 0-1. That's going to be a base hit to right. Alright, so a 2-out single for the Expos. However, the next batter is Miguel Batista. He does have a home run this season. So runner on first, 2 outs, 0-1. Grounds it to third. Charlie Hayes with the throw, that's out number 3. We didn't do nothing. Alright, bottom of the second, Jim Tatum facing off against Miguel Batista, who only needed 5 pitches to get out of the first inning. That's a very economical inning. 2-1 to Tatum. Flies it to right. John Kruk has his mullet fly in the wind as he goes and catches the ball for out number 1. Reggie Jefferson is next with 1 out, 1-1. Another fly ball to right. Still the same kind of flow with the mullet. That's 2 outs. Mike Devereaux now with 2 outs, 1-0. Right, and he flies it to right. So pretty busy inning for John Kruk. Hey, welcome aboard, Aki Pizza Oreos. I stream mostly this and Franchise Aki Manager 8. I don't know if you played that as well from the same company. It's the Aki version of the sim. I also sometimes play some RPGs. You're always welcome to stop by anytime you want. Alright, Luis Bologna now. No count to him. Oh, he tries to bond himself on, but it didn't work. 0-1 to Polonia. Grounds it to third, and the throw to first is good, and that's out number 1. Jeff King now the batter. 1-2. Oh, that's popped. And that's going to be cut by Pokey Reese for out number 2. John Kruk now. 2-2. Come on. That's it to left. And that's a home run. All right. John Kruk with the solo blast opposite field. 352 feet. Yeah, it is. Keep in mind the baseball version has 22 versions and the hockey version has 8. So less work put on it. So I think when we're gonna be at hockey version 22, we're gonna have something pretty similar in terms of gameplay. The hockey game is not bad. It's not perfect. I really like it, but yeah, there's definitely a few areas that they could work on better, but it's really just 2 guys working on the game, so they can only do so much. I really like how responsive they are and everything, and they fix a lot of stuff that people bring up, but yeah, it's kind of more of a work of passion than anything, I think. Alright, Ken Turbeck leading off the... No, not leading off. We're still in the 3rd inning after that solo blast by John Kruk, and there's 2 outs for him now, 0-1. Alright, that's it. Weekly to center, but that's cut by Devereaux for out number 3. Oh, I really like Out of the Park Baseball as well. So the universe I'm in 1995 right now, but I started to play this in 1991. I play out every single game. I started offline too, so the first season that I started to stream was 1994. So I started streaming at the start of 1994. And I did every single game on stream, and now we're in the middle of June 1995. We didn't have a very good season last year, a lot of roster turnover for this season. We're kind of in the mix for a spot in the playoffs. That'd be great. That also would be the first time I go to the postseason since I started to play. Alright, Charlie Hayes leading off the bottom of the 3rd for the Reds. We are up 1-0 thanks to that solo blast by John Kruk. 1-1 here to Hayes. Alright, and he flies it to center, and he's out. So since you have hockey in your name, are you also a hockey fan? Who's your favorite team? Is it like a New York team like the Mets, or is it like the Rangers or something? Tommy Green is now the batter for the Reds. Full count to him. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Alright, lucky guess, I guess. Hensley Millens is next with 2 outs, 1 and 2. I'm a Ottawa Senators fan. Even though it's been pretty rough for us the last 4 or 5 years, I'm a fan through and through, so not a bandwagon fan whatsoever. Pokey Reese is next, 2 outs, runner on first, no count. Oh, that's going to be a base hit. No. FJ, if you're going to be talking in my chat, I need for you to behave. You can't be lying to people. That's not right. Right, Barry Larkin is the next batter. 2 runners on, 2 outs. Full count. And he walks. So Miguel Batista is struggling here in inning number 3. And there's 2 outs, and people are getting on base here. Yeah. That's right. You're not a Yankees fan, so you're all right in my book. You're kind of all right. All right, bases are loaded. 2 outs. Polonia, pretty much their best hitter there, or one of their best hitter, is at the plate. No count, and that's a base hit to center. God. I'm struggling against the Reds. So every year there's a team that I can't beat. Usually it's the Mets. Last year it was the Mets and the Cards I couldn't beat. This year it looks like it's going to be the Reds. I just can't handle them very well. Alright, 2 on, 2 outs. So that was a 2-run single. So the Reds are now up 2-1. Jim Tatum is the batter, 1-1. And that's a liner that's cut by Jody Reed for out number 3. Alright, Ruben Rivera is the next batter. Top of the 4th, we're down 1 now. 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. Right, Charles Johnson is next. 3-0 to him. And he walks on 4 pitches. So Aki Pizza Oreos, what's your favorite way to play out of the park baseball? Like, do you play current day? Do you play fictional? Do you play historical? Do you sim like 10 seasons at a time? How do you play? All right, runner on first, 1 out for Jody Reed. No count. Grounds it to third. And Jody Reed is thrown out at first. The runner goes to second on the play, but there's 2 outs now with Brett Barbary, the batter. 2-0. That's a base hit to left. Is it going to score a run? We're going for it. And he's safe. All right, tied game thanks to a RBI single by Brett Barbary. And we have a 2-2 game. Miguel Batista is the next batter. Runner on first, 2 outs, no count. And that's a base hit to center. The pitcher refuses to give up. And we have 2 on, 2 outs. And Luis Polonia is the next batter here. Oh, God. Yeah, that wasn't hit very well. But that's a base hit nonetheless. All right, so he hit it to the pitcher. And he beat the throw at first. So now we have bases loaded with 2 outs. Jeff King is the batter. Yeah, we can do some damage here. Hopefully we do. 3-1. Oh, and he walks in a run. The best kind of run that you score. The one you don't have to spend a whole lot of energy for. I see. So it's your first year playing out of the park baseball. Did you used to play other baseball sims or something like that before? Or is it like your first time playing any kind of sports sim? Alright, John Kruk now. Bases are still loaded. There's 2 outs. Come on, John. put a little bit extra power using your mullet here as you swing. No count. Oh, that's a base hit to left. It scores at least 1 run, and I think 2. Can't see. Yep, 2-run score. It is now 5-2 for the Expos as John Kruk comes in clutch here. Yeah, I love playing fictional. I really debated before I started to stream Out of the Park Baseball because I have a pretty cool fictional universe that I created in 1980 with 4 different leagues that are layered in a promotion relegation system, where I started at the bottom with a team in the the basement, and I'm trying to work my way up and everything, but my team is really not all that great. We have like 2 Cy Young winners or potential Cy Young winners on the team, but our offense is trash. But I didn't do fictional. I thought it would be boring for people because nobody knows the players or anything, so I went with my Expos historical instead, which I've been having a blast doing. Alright, so 2 runners on, 2 outs. Turbeck is the next batter, 1-0. Grounds it to second, and that's out number 3. The Expos add 4 runs to their ledger, and it is now 5-2 for the Expos. I gotcha. Yeah. Once you stopped playing in 2015, so what? So did you play like in college or something? Did you play professionally? I mean, I played Little League Baseball, but I never made it past that. Then when the Expos moved to Washington, I kind of my interest in baseball kind of dropped. Although I will admit, I was following the Red Sox when they won the World Series against the Yankees. Not against the Yankees, but in that series against the Yankees when they came back, I followed that. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, you never know who you're talking to, right? So you gotta trying to figure out what's going on in people's lives. All right, Batista still on the mound. We have a 3-run lead, bottom of the 4th. Reggie Jefferson, the batter, 2-2. It's it to right. Kruk is there, catches it for out number 1. Mike Devereaux is next, 2-0 to him. Flies it to left. Polonia's there, catches it for out number 2. Yeah, what's cool with Out of the Park Baseball is that you can really do whatever you want with that. Like, once you play a little bit more with the game, since you're kind of new, you're gonna kind of figure out some things, and then you're gonna want to try to do like things differently a little bit. You're gonna want to kind of tinker things to your liking, and that's what I like, is that you can do whatever you want, and it's pretty cool. Alright, Charlie Hayes now with 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, 3-0 to him, and he walks on 4 pitches, so the Reds here with a 2-out walk. Alright, runner on first, 2 outs for Eric Moody, who's now on the mound. I forgot to mention it earlier, and he struck out looking. Alright, so Moody is on the mound, so he took over for Tommy Green and finished inning number 4 for him. Alright, and now Ruben Rivera is going to be facing him. Top of the 5th, we have a 3-run lead. 1-2 to Rivera. And he struck out looking. Charles Johnson is next. 0-2. Struck out looking. Wow. We're just not wanting to do anything in this inning, I guess. Jody Reed now with 2 outs. Full count. It's a 2-center, and that's cut by Mike Devereaux for out number 3. All right, nothing to show for the Expos here in inning number 5. We're going into the bottom of the 5th with Hensley Mullins leading off here against Miguel Batista. Yeah, that's not my area of expertise. I think there's a way you can kind of work that in, but I think it's kind of a lot of work. I spend a lot of time reading on their forums and everything, so that's something that I see coming up quite a bit, and I think there's a way to do it. So if you haven't visited their forums, you might want to go and check over there and see if it's something you can do. Alright, Mullins, 1 and 2 to him, and he struck out swinging for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Pokey race now, full count. And that's going to be a base hit to right, falls in front of John Kruk, so a 1 out base hit for the Reds. There's a runner on first with 1 out. Barry Larkin is the next batter, 1-0 to him. Alright, and he flies it to center. That's cut by Rivera for out number 2. Yeah, that's what I said. It's going to be a lot of work to do that, So yeah, maybe they're gonna add it to where it's a simplified way to do it, so that folks like you that want to do that can do that pretty easily. All right, runner on first, 2 outs for Polonia, 2-0. That's gonna be a base hit to center. Nobody could get to it. All right, so now there's runners on first and third with 2 outs. And Jim Tatum is the next batter, 1-0. That's it pretty well to right center, all the way to the fence. That's gonna score 2 runs. It is now 5-4 on a triple by Jim Tatum, and all of a sudden I only have a 1-run lead. Right, Reggie Jefferson is next. Runner on third, 2 outs, 2 and 2. And that's a base hit to left. We have a tied 5-5 game, folks. Something about the Reds that makes it hard for me to beat them for some reason. So that's a double for Jefferson. Runner on second base, 2 outs for Mike Devereaux. 0-1. Grounds it to third. He's thrown out at first for out number 3. Alright, the Reds come through with 3 runs and they tie the game. It is 5-5 going into the top of the 6th. Brett Barbary is going to be the next batter. 1-1. Eric Moody still on the mound for the Reds. That's popped, and that should be cut by Barry Larkin, and it is for out number 1. Alright, sounds good. Alright, Miguel Batista is going to be the next batter with 1 out, 1 and 2. Grounds it to third. And he's thrown out at first for out number 3. Luis Polonia is the next batter with 2 outs, no count. Oh. Alright, so that's a base hit. I wasn't sure if it was an error or a base hit. So it's a base hit for Polonia. They went through the infield. So 2 outs, runner on first for Jeff King, 1-1. Oh, Polonia's going. And he's safe. That's his 5th stolen base of the season. We have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, 2 and 2. And Jeff King, oh, that's a base hit. It fell where nobody could get to it. It is now a 6-5 lead for the Expos. Are we going to be able to hold on to this lead? I don't know. Maybe. John Kruk is the next batter. Runner on first, 2 outs, 0-1. Oh, another base hit for John Kruk. Base hit to right this time. And the runner goes to third base on the play. So runners on first and third. There's 2 outs, and we could really use a base hit from Ken Turbeck here. No count. That's flied to center. That should be caught, and it is by Mike Devereaux. And that's out number 3. We did score a run, so we took the lead back. It is now 6-5 for the Expos. Charlie Hayes is the next batter. Bottom of the 6th, no count. Oh, Charlie Hayes got drilled. Runner on first, nobody out. Scott Bryant comes in as a pinch hitter. No count. Grounds it to short. That's a double play. Oh, yeah. So all of a sudden there's 2 outs. Ensley Mullins is the batter, 1 and 2. Struck out swinging. Oh yeah. There we go. We're set up 6-5. Rob Murphy comes in as a reliever for the Reds. Ruben Rivera is going to be the first one to face him. Top of the 7th, we are up 1. It is 6-5, 2-1 to Rivera. Grounds it to second. He's thrown out at first for out number 1. Charles Johnson is next. No count. Grounds it to short. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. Jody Reed is next with 2 outs, 1-0. And that's it to right. Falls in front of Polonia for a base hit. So a 2-out base hit for the Expos. Brett Barbary is next. 3-0, and he walks on 4 pitches, so all of a sudden we have 2 runners on, 2 outs. I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter for Miguel Batista. And I think I'm going to go with Johnny Knott. Come on, Johnny. Make ARG proud. Alright, Johnny Knott, the batter, 2 on, 2 outs, full count. And he walks, and that loads up the bases. So now we have the bases loaded. And Luis Polonia is the bat. Do I want to keep Polonia? Yeah, he's 2 for 4. Let's see if he can get a hit against the lefty. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Polonia the batter. We're going to keep him in the game. He's 2 for 4. No count. That's it to center, and it falls in for a base hit. It's going to score 2 runs. Oh yeah, 2 more runs are added to our lead. It is now 8-5 for the Expos. A little bit of a eye scoring affair, or IR scoring affair in this one here. Jeff King now the batter. There's 2 runners in scoring position, 2 outs, 1-0. That's it to center. Devereaux is there. That's out number 3. The Expos do add 2 runs to their lead. It is now 8-5. We are going into the bottom of inning number 7. And we're going to go with... let's do Rich Monteleone. He hasn't pitched for me so far this season. So let's see what happens. Alright, so Monteleone is going to be facing Pokey Reese first. No count. And that's a base hit to right. Pokey Reese has been very hard to get out in that series. Maybe he's the new Greg Jeffries. Maybe he's the new guy that I just can't get out. Barry Larkin is the next batter. Runner on first, nobody out. 2-2. That's another base hit, falls into right. I'm not liking this. Alright, so 2 runners on, nobody out. Paul O'Neill is the next batter. I think that we're gonna stop this experiment right now and bring in the lefty Gabe White. Alright, so... oh, they're bringing in James Muton again to face off against him. No count, the runner goes. There's no throw. Oh, so 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out. James Muton is in as a pinch hitter, 1-1. And it's 8-8. That's a home run, 3-run home run for James Muton. And we have an 8-8 game. Wow. They just won't let me win this game. They just don't want for me to run away with it. Jim Tatum now, 2-2 to him. Struck out swinging. Reggie Jefferson is next, 2-2. Struck out looking. Mike Devereaux now, 0-1 with 2 outs. Grounds it to second. Jody Reed with the throw, that's out number 3. The Reds get 3 runs thanks to a 3-run home run from James Mouton. We have an 8-8 game. John Kruk is the first one to face off against Rob Murphy in the top of the 8. Kruk is 3-4-4. We're going to leave him in the game. Full count. And he walks. Alright, so a leadoff walk. Paul Maker is now going to be on the mound for the Reds. We're going to go with Russ McGinnis. We're bringing in Russ McGinnis as a pinch hitter. Let's see if we can do to them what they did to me. So, runner on first, nobody out. Russ McGinnis, the righty, to face off against the lefty Paul Maker. 1 and 2. Grounds it to short, and that's a double play. We didn't do to them what they did to me. Alright, so we have 2 outs now. Ruben Rivera is the batter. 1 and 2. And he struck out. And that's out number 3. That's the 4th strikeout of the game for Ruben Rivera. He is struggling. Alright, we're gonna put McGinnis at first. That's fine. Do I keep Gabe White? Jeez. I'm gonna try to keep him. Charlie Hayes, first one to face him in the bottom of the 8, 1 and 1. Flies it to left. Polonia's there. That's out number 1. Matt Stark comes in as a pinch hitter. 0 and 2. Grounds it to second. Jody Reed with the throw. That's out number 2. That brings up Ensley Mullins with 2 outs, 1 and 2. Grounds it to short. That's a good throw by Barbary for out number 3. All right, nothing to show for the Reds. Rob Dibble comes in to pitch inning number 9 for the Reds, so which means it's going to be tough for us to score runs. Charles Johnson is going to be our batter. Full count to Johnson. Grounds it to third. Good throw by Hayes. That's out number 1. Jody Reed is the next batter. 2 and 1. Grounds it to short. He's thrown out at first for out number 2. That brings up Brett Barbary. 2 and 2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, I'm going to bring my closer as well. So we're going to go with Tom Gordon here to face off against the Reds in inning number 9. We have an 8-8 tie. Pokey Reese, who's 3 for 4 today, 1 and 0. That's it to center. That's cut by Rivera for out number 1. Barry Larkin is next, 3 and 0 to him. And he walks on 4 pitches. Todd Trafton is now the next batter. Runner on first, 1 out, 3 and 1. That's popped. Jeff King is there. That's out number 2. Now Jim Tatum with 2 outs, 0 and 1. Grounds it to third. Jeff King goes to second base, and that's out number 3. We're going to be having extra baseball here today. Top of the 10th, Dwayne Ward comes in on the mound for the Reds. And I'm going to bring in a pinch hitter to face him. And it's going to be Delino the Shields. 2 and 2. And he struck out. Luis Polonia is next, 0 and 1. Grounds it to second, and he's thrown out at first for out number 2. Jeff King now with 2 outs, 2-2. And he struck out swinging. Alright, well, we didn't do much of nothing. Gonna go ahead and bring in our long reliever, Walt Terrell. Try to get a few innings out of him. And he's going to be facing off against Reggie Jefferson to start the bottom of the 10th. No count to Jefferson. That's a liner to short. That's cut by Barbary for out number 1. Mike Devereaux is next. 0-1. Grounds it to third. That's a good throw to first. That's out number 2. Charlie Hayes is next. 1-1. It's it to center. Rivera's after it. He catches it for out number 3. We're going into inning number 11. Tied at 8. John Kruk facing off against Dwayne Ward. 1-0. It's it weakly to left. That's cut by Mullins for out number 1. Russ McGinnis now. 0-2. Struck out swinging. Ruben Rivera with 2 outs. 2-2. And that's a base hit to right. Alright, Ruben Rivera finally doing something other than striking out. So there's a runner on first. There's 2 outs. Charles Johnson is the next batter. No count. The runner goes and he's safe. The throw goes into the outfield, so the runner ends up at third base on the play. Alright, so we have a runner on third with 2 outs. 0-1 to Charles Johnson. We need to base it. And he grounds out to the pitcher. That's the end of the inning. Bottom of the 11th. Chris Jones comes in to bat here. 0-1. Grounds it to short, and that's going to be a base hit. It eludes Barbary. Alright, so runner on first, nobody out for Ensley Mullins. 0-1. That's a base hit to center. Alright, so there's 2 on, nobody out. Pokey Reese is the next batter. He's 3 for 5, no count. That's it to right. That's cut by John Kruk. Nobody advances. There's 1 out now for Barry Larkin. No count, the runners go. Oh, and he's safe at third. So now there's runners on first and third with 1 out. The Reds only need a deep fly ball somewhere to win this game. Full count, and he walks. Oh boy, the bases are loaded now with only 1 out. Oh, they're keeping Dwayne Ward to bat. 2-2. Struck out swinging, so now they absolutely need a base hit to win the game. Jim Tatum is next. 3. Oh god. And we walked in the winning run. Oh boy. We got swept in Cincinnati. That's not great. Yeah. Alright, so there's some news. Let's see here. Alright, so Derek Jeter. Yeah, I got swept by the... Hey, the Reds are good in my universe. Well, they have good pitching. So Jeter has hit safely in 20 straight games. In my universe, Derek Jeter plays for the Texas Rangers. 5-hit game for Roberto Alomar. Pretty good against... Oh, in that same game against the Rangers. And Donovan Osborne threw a complete game shutout against the Giants. Finished today. Alright, the player of the week in the American League is Jose Canseco, still playing in Oakland. And in the National League, it is Ryan Klesko playing for the Braves. And we have dropped in the power rankings. We are about mid-pack now. We are 13th out of 28. Alright, we're going to go ahead and save this. Now, next time out is not going to be any easier. We're going to be facing off against the Houston Astros. Oh, no, they're not very good this year. They should have a few good hitters, though. Gonna need to watch that. Alright, let's see if my team made any trades or anything like that. Ah, the beauty of artificial intelligence. So if you look at this screen here, you're gonna see that on June 13th, we released Scott Bales, right? Now, if you look what we did 6 days later, we signed Scott Bales to a contract. Oh boy. Alright. The beauty of artificial intelligence. So I might be getting a lefty back in the pen. That'd be great to have one more of those. Alright, so ARG is going to be stopping here for today. Yeah, maybe, but even then, that's kind of weird. Like, why would he accept that contract offer? Like, you just cut me last week, and now you're offering me less money, man. What the heck? I don't know. Alright, ARG is going to be signing out now. I'm kind of warm, actually. And it's going to be time to look about dinner and stuff like that. So, as usual, I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you're watching this on YouTube and that you made it this far and liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you folks next time. Thank you.